kids. Welcome to I Love Big Trains number 2. I'm Jeff. We have a great show for you. First, we'll see the biggest operating steam locomotive in the world, the Union Pacific Challenger. Next, we'll learn about the different types of railroad signals, including some you don't see anymore. Then we'll take a ride on a GP38 diesel locomotive and a caboose on the Chicago South Shore Freight Line, plus new songs by my good friend Jim Coffey. So let's get started. As always, we open with a song.
I love big trains, the way they travel down the track with the smoke coming out the stack. There is nothing quite the same as they travel past my window pane. I love big trains. I love big trains as they travel down the track with smoke coming out the stack. There is nothing quite the same as they travel past my window pane. I love big trains. Big trains in the deep white winter snow when the summer breezes blow. People think that I'm insane, I'll even go out in the rain. I love big trains. I love big trains. I love big trains.
West Chicago, Illinois is a great town if you love big trains. Both freight and passenger trains pass through all day long. Today, a special passenger train is coming to town, headed by a famous locomotive from the 1940s, a Union Pacific 4664 Challenger. The Challenger is the largest working steam engine in the world, and it is the most powerful steam engine ever to be used for passenger service. The Challenger is in West Chicago to take some lucky folks on a train ride to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and back again. It's a beautiful morning. The Challenger is fired up and is slowly backing out from the siding onto the main line. Everything about a steam locomotive is fascinating, from the massive amounts of rivets to the hissing steam that seems to come pouring out from everywhere. Sounds like the steam whistle, clanging bell, and bursts of steam make you realize there's nothing in the world like a steam locomotive. The Challenger is 121 feet and 11 inches long and weighs 1,071,000 pounds, or 486 tons. The train moves slowly with crew members on the back to tell the engineer if there is a problem. The passenger cars make beautiful companions to the legendary Challenger. The familiar Union Pacific color scheme of gray and yellow with red trim has been used for decades. In the glory days of passenger service, the names of railroad cars were inspired by parts of the country the railroad would pass through, figures in history, or names of mythological characters. Some of the names sound poetic, like this car named the Portland Rose. This Challenger, number 3985, was part of an order placed by Union Pacific in 1943 to meet the demands of World War II. When diesels came along, steam locomotives were retired from service. Number 3985 was moved to a display where it deteriorated from lack of maintenance. In 1981, Union Pacific employees painstakingly restored 3985 for use on special excursion runs. The locomotive is articulated, which means it has more than one set of independently powered drivers. Drivers are the big wheels with rods and cranks connected to them. The drivers on the Challenger are 69 inches in diameter, almost 6 feet tall. The two most important crew members are the engineer, who runs the locomotive, and the fireman, who keeps the fire going in the boiler. The Challenger finally completes her trip to the main line switch. A local commuter train passes with a friendly blast of the horn, as old and new go their separate ways. The sudden rush of steam looks like a magical cloud the engine rides on. The intricate drive rods propel the drivers along the rails as the Challenger bellows a warning at the railroad crossing. These passenger cars aren't seen much anymore. Railroads used to provide both freight and passenger service, but today, most railroads haul exclusively freight. Only Amtrak carries passengers across the country. The silver trucks are bigger, with more springs than trucks on freight cars. This is to provide a smoother ride for passengers. The Challenger makes a grand entrance into West Chicago's passenger station. Even people who don't have tickets for today's excursion have come from great distances just to see the train pass by. Wherever the Challenger goes, crowds gather to see this legend in action. Those who remember the days of steam reminisce about the good old days when you would hear the mournful steam whistle of a train highballing in the night. Kids who have never seen a live steam locomotive get a chance to see history in motion. They are impressed. The lucky ticket holders board the train and the Challenger is ready to begin the journey. On straightaways, it can go as fast as 70 miles per hour. At every station, thousands of people come to greet the train. For the passengers on board, the windows are tinted green so it's easier to look out at the passing scenery. My pal Bill Tardy was one of the lucky few who got to ride the train. Bill loves big trains and toy trains. Bill, what was it like riding on that train?
I was hanging out the first baggage car, not those machinery cars, but in fact I was like probably the 9th car on the train, and I was hanging out. It's like a Dutch door and 4 people per door, and we're hanging out. I had my goggles on, I had my hat tied on, and we're hanging out and waving. It was kind of like it was my train. It was a lot of fun. Jeff, you're only 10 years old, but you know, if you ever get a chance and your parents will allow it, I would definitely beg them, tell them you cut the grass for the next year if they take you on a steam engine.
At the end of the day, the tired Challenger arrives back in West Chicago to drop off the remaining passengers and get cleaned up and put to rest. Again, crowds of people gather to see the Challenger come through the area one last time. The locomotive crew climbs off the engine and gets ready for some final tasks before calling it a day. The train is backed into the siding. The crewmen break out the grease guns, scrubbing brushes, and rags and begin servicing the locomotive. The dirty side rods are scrubbed and wiped down. Moving parts and joints are greased and oiled so everything will be ready for more action in the morning. The Union Pacific deserves a lot of credit for maintaining such an important part of American history. It's too bad some of the other railroads didn't do the same thing.
Trains are fun, but don't be fooled. Safety first is a mighty fine rule. Keep your eyes open and promise that you'll be sensible, be smart, and be safe. Be sensible, be smart, and be safe.
Since the beginning of the railroads, signals have been a simple means of giving directions to engineers. Roy Jackson loves railroad signals. He has a collection of them in his front yard. Railroads use many different types of signals. Let's talk about block signals first. Block control signals are like stop and go lights. Red means stop, yellow or amber means to proceed slowly and be prepared to stop at the next signal. Green means all clear ahead. But where stop and go lights have red on top, amber in the middle, and green on the bottom, railroad block signals have green on top, amber in the middle, and red on the bottom. Most signals are mounted on tall poles called masts. When there are several lines of track, bridges are used to mount the signals. This is a color position target signal. Color because there are two different colored lights. Position because two light colors illuminate and create a pattern. For example, the two red lights form a horizontal pattern. The two amber lights form a diagonal pattern. And the two green lights create a vertical pattern. There are also position target signals that use a single color like white instead of different colors. But the idea is the same. Various combinations of lights form horizontal, diagonal, and vertical patterns. Each pattern means something different to the engineer. This is a semaphore signal. Semaphores use a flag and colored lights to communicate with the engineer. The flag is set in one of three positions: horizontal, diagonal, or vertical. Each position has a specific light: red with horizontal, amber with diagonal, and green with vertical. The flag is motorized and the lights are electric. Older versions of semaphores were manually operated. A worker had to climb the ladder and ignite kerosene lamps. Dwarf signals are small and short. That's why they're called dwarf signals. They are used with sidings and in yards. Automatically controlled turnouts or switches sometimes use signals as well. This lantern turns to show which position the switch is in. Green means straight and red means the train will turn out. This simple signal shows green or red to indicate the position of the switch. Trainmen also use a lantern. Here, let me show you. Swinging the lantern back and forth means stop. This means reduce speed. To signal the train to proceed, you raise and lower the lantern. Swinging the lantern around means to reverse the train. This tells the engineer to apply the air brakes. This tells the engineer to release the air brakes. Any object waved frantically signals an emergency, and the engineer should stop immediately.
Trains are fun, but don't be fooled. Safety first is a mighty fine rule. Keep your eyes open and promise that you'll be sensible, be smart, and be safe. Be sensible, be smart, and be safe. The railroad yard is not a playground, not a good place to fool around. The best advice that I have found is to be sensible, be smart, and be safe. Be sensible, be smart, and be safe.
This sign is shaped like the letter X. It is called a crossbuck and reads railroad crossing. Most crossbucks are white, some are black. Here's one that's yellow. Other signs sometimes are posted below the crossbuck, including danger, stop, and a sign indicating the number of tracks at the crossing. 3 tracks means 3 trains might cross the road at the same time. This is important because after a train is passed, a motorist might go through the crossing before checking to see if another train is coming on a different set of tracks. On signals with lights, there is sometimes a stop on red signal signs. Older signs used reflective marbles in the letters to shine in the headlights of an oncoming car at nighttime. Today, the entire sign is reflective and easier to read at night. Among the earliest automatic signals were wigwags. Wigwag is a nickname which describes the swinging motion of the black and white banner. When a train approached the railroad crossing, the red light went on and the banner would begin to wigwag. Some wigwags also had a warning bell. While wigwags are fun to watch, they required maintenance. A cheaper signal was developed where 2 separate red lights replaced the swinging banner to provide warning. The lamps blink in a back and forth pattern and require virtually no maintenance. This concept was so successful it has been used for over 75 years. Later, wooden gates were added to the signals. When a train approached, the lights began to blink and the gate would come down. Gates have 3 lights. The first light stays on while the other 2 blink on and off. Some crossings have smaller pedestrian gates. Early gates were painted with black and white warning stripes. Later, the stripes changed to red and white. Railroaders call this sign a whistling post. Republicans call it a tribute to President Bush. This sign tells the engineer to blow the whistle. This whistle sign was for the Pennsylvania Railroad. Notice the signature keystone shape. Numbered signs like this one are mile markers. This sign means the train has 235 miles to go until it reaches Detroit. A yard limit sign tells the train that railroad yard rules are in effect from this point on.
Be sensible, be smart, and be safe. Be sensible, be smart, and be safe. Now look both ways at the crossing gate. If a train is coming, you better wait. Take a step back, don't hesitate. To be sensible, be smart, and be safe. Be sensible, be smart, and be safe. Be sensible, be smart, and be safe. Be sensible, be smart, and be safe.
We are at the freight yard of the Chicago South Shore and South Bend Railroad in Michigan City, Indiana. Everyone calls it the South Shore. It is a short line providing freight service to local businesses. The South Shore uses a fleet of Geep 38-2 diesel-electric locomotives. These were built by General Motors in 1981. Let's go over some of the main parts of a diesel locomotive. They include the headlights, number boards, and horn. There is a ringing bell on the side which is used whenever the engine starts moving or passes through railroad crossings. The wheels and axles are held by trucks. This is a brake cylinder. Air pushes the piston out of the cylinder, which pushes the brake shoes against the locomotive wheels. When the brakes are released, the air is let out of the cylinder and the brake shoes relax their grip on the wheels. There are two air tanks on the locomotive. One is used for the brakes, and the other is used for the horn and bell. The fuel tank below holds 3,000 gallons of diesel fuel. On the front end, there is a snowplow, which comes in handy during a typical winter in northwest Indiana. Inside the cab, the engineer pulls this lever to blow the horn.
This is the most dangerous intersection of the whole place right now.
The speed recorder tells the engineer how fast the train is going. The walkways on a locomotive have rough treads to improve traction for crews. This prevents them from slipping when climbing on and off a locomotive. Handrails help too. Pretty nice paint scheme on the engine, don't you think? It was designed by the same artist who painted the cover for this video. His name is Mitch Markovitz. Mitch loves trains. In fact, he used to work on the railroad as both a conductor and an engineer. That's how he got started painting pictures about the railroad.
My father was a commercial illustrator. We lived on the south side of Chicago. One of his clients was the Illinois Central Railroad, which also ran through the south side of Chicago. We would go to the station at 75th in South Chicago, the Grand Crossing Depot, and pick him up after work. And he knew even at my age of 18 months, I was so excited by the Illinois Central. He would, after dinner, teach me how to draw trains. That's how I learned how to do perspective so early on. And I remember for many years just drawing pictures of the IC. The railroads literally laced the country together with steel and made bulk transportation available very early in our country's machine age development. And I decided to go into engine service, and I remember all the while sitting in class in engineers school on the Northwestern. I thought, well, I can just take my certificate and go over to the South Shoreline as a promoted engineer and hire out. In 1984, when I was first hired by the Venango River management team that took over the South Shoreline, one of our first goals was to take the freight locomotives out of the blue and yellow C&O color scheme and go back to something that was readily identifiable as the South Shoreline. A classic South Shoreline orange and maroon scheme with a stripe that looked like the big 800 electric locomotives. I said the best thing that we could do is go about the business of being us, which really is very well liked in the community for all the remarks and disparaging comments about the orange cars when they were running. And despite the fact that trains hold up traffic on 11th Street, the fact remains everybody has a warm spot for the South Shoreline.
Working for the South Shore means lots of forward and reverse movements, stopping to pick up cars and waiting for switches to be thrown. The crew brings the locomotive out to the yard, where it is routed through sidings until it reaches the track where the freight cars to be picked up are waiting. Many different types of rolling stock are stored at the Carroll Avenue yards. The crew knows which cars they need, and sometimes, like today, they need to shuffle the cars around until they get the cars they want. It is a time-consuming process. For safety, the train moves slowly. Today's orders include 2 trips, one short and one long. The short trip involves delivering 5 hoppers to a business called GFA. GFA is located about 5 blocks from the Carroll Avenue yards. Once the train passes the switch that leads to the open siding, it stops and backs in, uncouples an unwanted car, pulls out, then reverses back into the yard to pick up the remaining cars. Now the train is complete and ready to head for GFA. After delivering the hoppers, the GP38 returns to the Carroll Avenue yards to pick up some other freight cars. Since delivering cars to the new destination will require backing into a long siding, a caboose will be used so a brakeman can ride on the platform and look out for trouble. After the GP38 picks up the needed cars, it backs into the siding where the caboose is sitting and couples onto it. Now the new train is complete and ready to begin its journey. I'll bet those drivers who get stopped at a crossing will be happy to see a red caboose, something they don't see much anymore.
Freight, freight, I'm hauling some freight. Boxes, bundles, cartons, and crates. No matter how big, no matter the weight, you could say I love hauling freight. Big, small, I deliver it all. I'm so happy when there's something to haul. Loading it up or stacking it tall. As long as I'm hauling, I'm having a ball. I'll pick it up and take it wherever it needs to go. In the blazing summer sun or in the freezing winter snow. No matter what the load, you can count on the railroad. To haul it all away would be my treat. Freight, freight, isn't it great? There's nothing like a big heavy crate. From town to town or state to state, you could say I love hauling freight. I'll pick it up and take it wherever it needs to go. In the blazing summer sun or in the freezing winter snow. No matter what the load, you can count on the railroad. To haul it all away would be my treat. Freight, freight, isn't it great? There's nothing like a big heavy crate. From town to town or state to state, you could say I love hauling freight. Freight, freight, I'm hauling some freight. Boxes, bundles, cartons, and crates. No matter how big, no matter the weight, you could say I love hauling freight. You could say I love hauling freight. I just love, yes, I just love hauling freight. Hauling freight.
The crew is preparing for a 30-mile run to an industrial complex in Kingsbury, Indiana. Their job is to pick up and drop off some freight cars. A caboose will be needed on this trip too. First, the GP38 pushes the caboose to a siding, then goes back to pick up the other cars. One of my favorite things about the South Shore is that they are one of the few railroads who still use a caboose. You don't see many cabooses these days. On the top of the caboose is a cupola, where the conductor or brakeman sits to watch the back end of the train. Cabooses used to be a common sight in America from the mid-19th century, when railroads were springing up all over the country, to the 1980s, when new technology made the caboose obsolete. Inside the caboose is a stove to keep the crew warm. The stove is also used for cooking. Notice this attachment on the axle. The motion of the caboose turns a generator which creates power for things like the lights inside. On the back is a flashing red light to warn approaching trains. The two mainline locomotives head to the small yard to put together the train. A train crew consists of the engineer, conductor, and brakeman. The brakeman's job is to change the switches and couple and uncouple the freight cars. After the train has been made up, the engineer gets the all clear and heads out of the yards. This job also involves picking up cars parked on a long siding, so once again the brakeman will be at the back of the caboose watching for problems. He mans the brake wheel to add tension to the consist on the straightaways. On curves, he relaxes the tension or the train might derail. The train backs up and couples the caboose to a set of waiting cars. Since we don't have to back up on any more sidings, the caboose doesn't have to be at the end of the train. On the way out of the yard, we get a red signal, which means we have to stop while another train passes in front. After the other train has passed, the red signal changes to green and our train continues on its way. A beautiful day like today makes the trip more fun. The trees in small towns whiz by. The windows are open, letting the fresh breeze inside the cab. Safety is the most important thing on a railroad. Real trains are a lot of fun, but they can also be very dangerous. It's okay to watch trains from a safe distance, but you never walk on tracks, tamper with signals, or climb on railroad equipment. Well, time to go. I have to go to baseball practice. See you next time in I Love Big Trains number 3.
When I see that big engine coming down the track, I get all excited and that's a fact. There's no denying it, I love big trains. When I know there's something big headed down the line, I feel a chill run down my spine. There's no denying it, I love big trains. Big old trucks, why they're okay, but I see them on the road almost every day. Buses and planes just aren't the same compared to the sight of